Hi everyone. So for the month of November 2025, Spellbinders has a few new collections, but they are all awesome. So today I'm going to show you the Wonder of Oz, I believe is what this collection is called. And I also have follow-ups with their new wax seal gun. You might have a lot of questions about that one. Hopefully I can answer them in the video whenever I do get to that, because it's not just like a glue gun, okay? It's a little bit different. It's made to work with the sticks that, you know, you can purchase for it that aren't really just clear glue, okay? So it's a different thing. So we'll talk about that in that video. But today I'm going to try these guys out and make the card that you saw in the intro there. So I will say I did send these items free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And the links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. I'll do them for the US and the UK. And I super appreciate you using those. If you would like, generally what I do is I link to all the new collections. So if you click on that, it says like November 2025 collections, and it'll show you everything or just this collection, right? And I will say I have pretty much all the collection. I think there's another background better press plate that I do not have. So I don't know right now, because I'm doing this ahead of time, if they have a buy it all, you know, want it all collection or not. But I have mostly everything here. So I will say there's a 3D embossing folder that is really cool. It also has dies. So these dies will cut out some of these little poppy flowers. So let me open this guy up. And again, with the embossing folders, they are oversized. They emboss an area that's 8.5 by 3.5 by 3.5, 8.5 by 5.5, but the actual plastic is 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. So you definitely want a machine that can accommodate that. And look at those poppies. I mean, how pretty is that? I love it. Again, with the 3D embossing, they go up and they go down. It's just like carved in like a marble sculpture there. Just really nice and pretty. I do have people asking to see it better. There you go. You can see all that detail. And then it comes with these 3 dies. It's not a cut and emboss where you are going to put these dies like in here and run it through. You're going to run this through and then find the appropriate flowers that these coordinate to. And your packaging should show you that. But for now, I mean, you can just kind of imagine if I had this, I'm going to look for the one, maybe that one. It looks like this guy cuts that one or however, right? So it cuts out 3 of the different designs here. Okay, and that's your 3D embossing folder. And then we have all these beautiful pieces. So like this is your beautiful silhouette. Does not cut at the bottom, so it's definitely like on the edge kind of a die. And you have, of course, your lion, the Tin Man there, your scarecrow, and then Dorothy with little Toto, it looks like, right? Very cute. Nice size on this. Let me get that for you. It is just over 6 inches wide. And then in this direction, it's just about 2 3/4. And look at the top of this hat. Okay. And then these plates are awesome. So I believe these are 2 different sets. Yes, as you can see. Again, I get samples that look like this. Yours are going to be packaged really nicely with some inspo or whatever it needs for that particular thing. But this is the Dorothy set. So you have her here with her little basket with Toto in there. And then you have your beautiful, I believe that would be Glinda. And then the your witch, of course, here. And hopefully you can kind of see what's going on there. But nice size, and then they have the dice. So, of course, you can put that like on a note card, or you can cut them out also. Glinda's like 3 3/4 inches tall, I would say, and the other guys are a little bit smaller than that. So you have that. And this one has our other characters, of course, again, your lion, your Tin Man, and your scarecrow here with the dies along with that. The lion is like 3 3/4 inches wide there. Let's say scarecrow is like 3.5 inches tall. Look how cute the Tin Man is, guys. I know you can't see a lot of detail because that's what we're just looking at, but I will definitely make cards or tags or something with these other pieces, whatever I don't use today. I'll definitely follow up. And then these are the sentiments. Better press plate, of course, and then the dies that go along with that. So it has things like all you need is confidence. I'm sorry, some of them are upside down, so I'm having to look at them different ways. There is no place like home, of course. Of course, it's not on there. I just said, of course. A wicked friend like you is rare. Never doubt your magic. Very cute. But we're going to see these today because I'm going to use these for our card. So I'm going to put some of these things to the side, grab some paper, and we'll get started. Okay, guys, this is going to be a really quick card. I'm going to go ahead and make an A2 size card. I think this lineup of characters would be great for a 5x7 even, because, again, it has 6 inches here, but, like, the framing of that would be really, really great. But we're going to use this today. So I already have a card base here. It's already, you know, pre-folded winner. So 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. Pre-made card base that I have. I'm going to go ahead and matte layer the whole thing because I figure this is going to go across the whole thing too. So this is 4 1/4 by 5.5. I'm going to run it through the 3D embossing folder, which probably means I'm going to lose a little bit because sometimes it shrinks, right, with all that texture and everything it has going on here. But this guy will go, it does kind of have a direction to it also. That's the other thing to think about when you're working with this. The flowers are definitely kind of up and down here, right? So I'm just going to place it there. I think that's good. I'm going to run that through. I'm going to use my Platinum 6 with the Universal Plate System. That would be the A plate and the gray adapter plate. But whatever your system needs for whatever die cutting machine you have, do that for a 3D embossing folder. And then going to do the sentiments in a little bit. So we're not going to work with that quite yet. This guy. So I have a piece of cardstock. I think it's 3.5 by 5.5. I know it's 5.5 for sure. Let me see how deep that is. 3.5. I don't know if I'll keep all of that, but I did want something to maybe place the sentiment on. So, maybe bring it up a little bit higher because I do want something at the base here. So whatever sentiment I end up choosing, maybe I can fit it in here or something, right? Yeah. So maybe a little bit higher up. So let's bring it up here. And this is going to be right on the edge, guys. Left to right, because if I look in the back, I'm going to make sure that I don't chop the tail off, because it is basically 5.5 inches in the imagery here, but this part goes out to 6 inches. Okay, so like right there, I really want to keep the integrity of all that. Okay, I'm going to put this down. And I think that's straight. It kind of looks like it's a little bit like this, at an angle. So just whatever it is that you like. I'm going to stick this down right here and run that through. So when I come back, we'll have these pieces for our card base. Okay. And look how beautiful that is. Just lovely. And the deboss side. Gorgeous. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Just put... Oh, look at it. It didn't shrink that much. A little bit. I mean, the smallest amount I would say in the width here, because the rest of it, see how some of that's showing. Okay, let me just glue that down, and I'm going to clean this out. Oh, yeah, let's be careful about that, because it is very delicate with all the characters there. So we have this piece. I'm going to clean out these little bits, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm holding that down. I'm going to go ahead and get this on here. And I'm just going to lay that down also. There's, quite a bit of delicate areas here. Quite a few. So I'm going to get some glue on here. And then just go through, obviously get tons of glue. Well, not tons, but like in every little area. And just lay that down right at the very bottom edge. I think that was pretty good. So again, that was 3.5 inches. I did eyeball kind of where I placed the die, but hopefully you noticed. I would say there's a good 1/2 inch at the very top right from this piece here. So anyhow, okay, so let's get a little more glue on here. His tail, it's another one that really needs some close attention. I think that's okay. And I'm just going to hold this down here at the very base. I suppose if I was going to cover this up, and this did shrink up a lot, I could have moved this up, and then nobody would see under here, but that's all right. Okay. Let's just make sure. The very bottom nice and straight. Okay. And instead of just kind of pressing all that, now that this is holding where I want it, I'm just going to put some weight on top of this, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay. I just left that alone for a few minutes. And it's very pretty. I love the little poppies there. How cute is that? I mean, look at the whole design. And I will say, and I guess I didn't mention in the beginning, this is by Graphic 45. So I do have their Wizard of Oz like paper and things, which are going to go great, right, with all these different pieces. But I'm going to put that to the side for now. And I'm just going to go ahead and take this. Now, you can definitely foil these. If you want to foil it just for this, it probably wouldn't work so well because of all these guys that are on there. I love a die or a plate that has a die, so I will never be upset about that. But if you're looking to just, you know, foil that one thing on your cardstock, it's going to be very tricky, if not impossible. So, all right, I'm going to have this paper here. Generally, I would cut this down to the size that I need, but that's okay. It's just a scrap of paper that I have. And whatever you want facing up, you know, like on your project, you need it to be facing down right now. And that works that way. And again, you can use your Better Press inks. I generally use VersaFine and my Better Press inks. Anything, basically a pigment ink, archival ink is going to work for this really well. You can use your water-based inks. They might repel a little bit, but you know, you can try it. Okay, I'm just going to run that through my Platinum 6 and I'll be right back. Okay, let's see what we got here. And as always, just perfect. Okay, I'm going to clean up and we'll run these through to cut them out and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we'll take this guy and cut these out. No, like, no, not there. There we go. Okay, and again, I just eyeball this, see whatever looks best, you know, left and right, up and down, try to center each of the sentiments here. Maybe a little more this way, okay. And definitely put some tape on that, and I usually put it on towards the outside so I don't pull away any of my pretty lettering here. I'll run this through and I'll be right back. Okay, and it's nice to have these all fall out at one time. Cute, and I'll have these for the next few projects too. Okay, and these are the sentiments here if you want to pause and take a look at those. Good friends are the best travel companions. I love that. True courage is facing danger when you are afraid. I mean, they're just a lot of cute things. I'm thinking maybe popping this one on. No adventures complete without you by my side. That's really sweet too. Okay, maybe this one. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that and I'll be right back. Okay, and that's as simple as this card is going to be. I mean, you can do so much. Really check out the examples. A lot of fun colors. I mean, just lots of ways to have this come to life. And, you know, you can pop this up here. I just feel like I left that space there for this to be here. I think this would also make a really fun shaker. I can imagine having this in the background, then this underneath the shaker material, you know, the acetate and all that. So things to think about. We'll pop that right there. And that is my card for today, guys. Super simple and quick. I will definitely follow up with tutorials on the other plates and things. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, I'll have images coming up. I'll have the links for the US and the UK in the description box. And I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.